You're listening to the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, Lockpod, Season 17, Episode 7, coming to you live from the NICA IBW Powering Indiana Lake County Studios.
Brr, from the frozen
tundra.
Powering Indiana Lake County Studios. My hands are still cold.
It is
being outside.
Freaking cold where we live. If you're listening to this in summertime, you know, you're like harking back to earlier episodes. It's freaking cold today. It's -4 regular temperature right now.
And windy.
It's like in the 20 or 30 below zero range.
But we're all here. We all made it just to give you medium quality entertainment.
John's sick too, so we're like, we're locked into a room with him. At least I'm not sitting next to him like Joe.
I woke up with a fever this morning. So you guys,
for more
thank
cowbell?
you, John.
Chat, you can't say I don't. You
don't
put
bring
a lot
it
to this show.
That sounds like a song, like the first line of a song. I woke up with the fever this morning.
Mine would be
Keep
sadder.
going.
I woke up with the fever this morning.
A fever in my heart.
I had to go put on a podcast.
I woke up with a fever this morning.
And no one likes me in chat because I'm a Republican. But please be good to me today because I'm sick.
The title of the song is Fuck That Podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of, what's going on with Jill over here?
So you've got an electric blanket hooked up.
You got an electric blanket?
I look like Roosevelt.
Which one, Teddy or FDR?
I think FDR.
FDR?
Or
Okay.
Truman.
Because Teddy, I didn't think Teddy
That
had an
man was a
electric
rough
blanket.
rider.
No.
There was no electricity
More
back
like
then.
a hair shirt for Teddy. But, this is something, Joe. Why the electric blanket?
You run this place like a gulag.
That's
not
true.
that
She's
cold.
not lying.
It is 70. I'm warm.
Chat, there's a vent directly above Jill and I that does not stop
A
blowing
smart
air.
vent that
It's
never stops blowing.
It's supposed to circulate the air. And
right on top of us.
Kevin,
Except I'm actually warm this morning.
Thank you.
So,
I'm
I'm
warm
all
over
right.
here.
Because he has
Kevin
a
hates
disease.
NIPSCO, so he like keeps this place like with the. It has
He
like
hates
Well,
us too, I think.
You saw the NIPSCO.
It turns on as soon as the show ends.
Just the heat for the talent up front.
That's right. It's warm over here by Tom and I.
We're like, Lockpod is out, and then all the heaters kick on.
Kevin was bitching because his coffee wasn't hot enough.
I know. I'm using it for warmth.
That's
You
a
just
good
hold it.
idea.
I know. You just hold it in your hand.
Be careful. It's a left-handed cup.
I know. I told Marissa about that. She says it was innocent. I don't believe her.
I don't believe her either.
I don't either. I think it was like some left hand.
Yeah, left hand. Like I'm gonna
website.
assert my dominance here.
www.lefthandersrule.com. Like some bullshit like
I
that.
got the porn
bet-
site.
Support site, yeah. Don't mistype.
Careful.
Yeah.
But speaking of furnaces, we're going to talk about some NIPSCO stuff. Coming
Yeah.
up with,
Yeah.
Senator Rodney Pol.
Yeah.
Senator Rodney coming on, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
great.
super cool. It's his first
time
and I
on.
can't believe it's his first.
I
'Cause
can't either.
He's for those of you that don't know Senator Rodney, he's young and hip and cool.
Yeah,
and
smart and
like he's a lawyer, he's a legislator. He was city attorney for the city of Gary for a while, and he's coming on Lockpod. We're going to talk. I know he's got a big thing going with NIPSCO right now. I'm sure we're going to talk about NIPSCO rates. That should be popular.
definitely going to talk about NIPSCO. We're going to talk about what I can't wait to talk to him about. Like, hey, how's everybody getting along in the Senate?
Yeah, that's
You know?
good. That's a good question.
So that'll be good. So
Yeah.
we'll get Rodney on third segment. We got a great show for you today. Not only do we have Senator Rodney, we got some great topics, including what's going on with the youth of America in politics. So stay tuned.
I like.
And Lake
Yes.
County Sheriff race drama.
Oh,
Yeah,
always.
that's the first segment.
Yeah.
Shenanigans, but I just, I before we like move into that, I just, because it's cold here. We started off the show with that, and there's something like that is an annoying part of being mayor, and I don't know if every boss has to deal with this or if it's just particular to me as Mayor Hammond, but like anytime there's adverse weather of any type, like I get flooded with requests for, hey, do we have tomorrow off?
Like texts?
No,
Oh, like
they go
just-
to my staff. So my staff
Lord.
comes to me, and then I bite their heads off because I'm like, I never shut down City Hall. I try
No.
not to. I mean, we're supposed to be open,
Right.
even when it's freaking cold out, right?
Yeah, you've had this discussion on many occasions. I remember, like during COVID, you're like, "Yeah, the city hall's open.
We were open.
We're
during
gonna
COVID.
wear masks and we're gonna be fine. We're all gonna. But like people were asking about that then, and now they ask it heat, cold.
Yesterday, I'm no shortage of 10 to 15 different people are like, "Hey, are we closed tomorrow?" I'm like, "It's fucking Friday. We're open. We open at the same time and we close at the same time." Well, it's going to be real cold. Well, it's fucking January. Of course it's going to be cold. We live in Chicago, right? I didn't realize we shut down when it gets cold. Like, we should just, like, all, like, go away.
Well, like, isn't that what government's supposed to be doing?
Yes.
We can't do an e-working day?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Here we
Come into
go.
the sports
But, like,
flex.
honestly, though, Joe, because in your previous life, you were a teacher, right? And I get that because you got kids that are walking to school.
Or have to
You
wait
got
for the
kids-
bus.
They have to wait for the bus. You know, I get that,
Right.
okay? I get why you go e-learning day and you don't come in because you
It's a
don't
nice
want kids.
option now. We didn't have it when we were kids, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
like just the fact, even if you didn't have e-learning, they would shut down on days
Sure.
like because they're like, hey, listen, we don't want a kid to get.
I
stranded.
read today, CPS, Chicago Public Schools, shut down today.
Yeah, all of our local schools are shut
Yeah.
down. But government, like what the? Okay, so the ramifications if I shut down City Hall because we have union contracts, right? So if I shut down City Hall, it's a day off. So like anybody that has to work on that gets time and a half, double time, right? So like all cops, they have to work. Firefighters, so like automatically our bills for that day.
Go up because everybody that's home is just getting paid their regular
Right. So
salary.
like Joe gets to chill at home because I shut the sportsplex down. But Joe's brother's out there as a cop, and he's like, "Thanks, Mayor. I get time and a half or double time now because it's a day off, and I'm working on a day off, right?" And then like, because there's people I can't. What about garbage pickup?
Yeah,
What about
they're working?
street workers like with our streets? You know, like there's ramifications if I send everybody home. There's ramifications. It costs us more as a city, and just the general fact that we're the government. We're the ones that are supposed to make sure the city's working. And when it's cold, what if we have a power outage? I need people there so that we can get the word out about warming shelters. And
Right.
it's just like, it never ceases to amaze me how often I get asked, are we off tomorrow? And my goal, honestly, is to keep City Hall open every day except for the ones we have off.
Yeah.
You
I
know, the
think-
ones that are like Christmas, New Year's, you know,
Sure.
stuff like that. We're supposed to be open every other day.
Tom's like, no. What about Christmas? You need to be here.
Yeah, right. And by the way,
But-
everybody's got personal days and sick days.
Sure.
And use them.
There you go.
That's good for me too
What-
if you use those.
Like on a day like this, I'm just curious. Like, I assume that if there is somebody that is looking for a warming shelter or has an issue or whatever, you get calls at the mayor's office, right?
But like, this is another weird thing about the Midwest. You know, I moved here and I grew up where it was 70 degrees most of the year. So it's, you know, this kind of weather is a shock to me still. I grew and I've lived here 35, 40 years. But like, okay, so the warming shelter fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
We open buildings for warming shelters and nobody uses them. Why?
Well-
Okay, the Gene Shepherd Center is a warming shelter, right? Are you ever sitting at home on your warm couch watching TV and you're like, I think I'm going to go hang out at the Gene Shepherd Center because it's a warming shelter, right? Fucking nobody does that because
Right.
it's you use the warming shelter if you have massive power outages, right? But
There
like
you go.
still, everybody's like, hey, I got a warming shelter. What about the warming shelter? Like, talk to me if we lose power. And then, of course, the warming shelter is going to get very important at that point, right?
I just always assumed like it was maybe some people that, you know, whose power's off or like because they couldn't
Homeless.
afford it or homeless or whatever. But I guess folks that are homeless probably have places they go, like
Oh,
homeless
dude, you can't
shelters
be
and
homeless
stuff.
on a day like
No,
today. You
no.
can't even be outside
No,
more than a
that's
couple
right.
minutes. So
That's right.
on a day like today. You know what, John? We got a big audience. You know why?
Jill's electric
it's cold.
blanket.
I have a feeling because it's cold.
It's cold as hell. Everybody's home.
See?
All the schools
You're
are
right.
off, right?
You be careful.
My
with your-
employees are
don't
probably-
swear too much today. There's a lot of
Yeah,
kids
don't
listening.
Swear.
I already
there's
did.
not.
Be good.
Not much.
There's no kids listening.
What are you letting your kid listen to the Lockpod for? Like,
Be
come
better.
on. Be better than that.
That's the title.
It'll be better.
Shouldn't they be logged into school at this point?
I'm not going to stop cussing because
I'm just
some parents got
Your
poor
choice,
judgment
man.
letting them listen to the Lockpod. There's an E for explicit on our show. Did you notice that?
There
It's
Explicit
NC-17.
learning. E-learning.
That was shocking when we first
Explicit.
started
Lockpod
and we got the E. Like
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
first episode, I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Listen, well, let's
Well
listen back to
done.
the first episode.
Yeah.
Like
That was
Tom,
all over the
I always
top.
say Tom's a kid in a candy store. He got to swear on the radio or on the
That was
Over
like
the
20
airwaves.
years of frustration. saved
17
up.
seasons ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So we had a busy week. I had a busy week campaign managing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I read
Yes.
that.
what's that?
I read that.
I
Had a
didn't
busy
see that in
week.
the paper, by the way.
What's that?
I didn't see the article.
Well, no, I mean Jason's fundraiser. First off,
Oh yeah.
Jason had a nice fundraiser,
What a
right?
crowd.
Talking about Jason Gore.
Yeah, Jason Gore for sheriff.
He's in chat.
Is he?
And his wife.
Nice. Hey guys,
Maybe that's what's driving up our.
that's
People.
Not
probably-
us.
It could be. It's
Nobody's
not
here
us.
for us.
Oh, and Marissa. Boy,
Wow.
everyone's in chat.
All right, I got to be on my
Is
best
everyone
behavior.
off today?
I
Marissa's
guarantee
not-
you,
no,
Jan is
Marissa-
not in
I'm
chat.
kidding.
Not
We're-
us.
You know, an interesting fact about the circuit court judge? They and the commissioners are like key advisors when it comes to closing down the building. And unfortunately for county employees and, in the judiciary, the circuit
Court
court
judge is married to a guy who doesn't close down City
who
Hall.
she sees the world similarly.
There you go.
She's like, can you believe people want to shut down the courts today? And Marissa's like a champion of the courts. She's like, what happens if somebody needs a protective order and it's shut down, right?
Very true.
Marissa's like that all the time. So like when the chief, when Marissa, the circuit court judge, gets asked whether or not they're going to shut the courts down, it's usually a firm no.
Similar answer to the mayor of Hammond.
Yeah. We are government. This is
go.
what we're here for.
Good.
If we shut down.
I'd be bummed if the courts were closed today. I got stuff to do.
That's right, Kevin.
Yeah.
Your fellow lawyers are telling you to shut up right now.
Johnny's probably like, I want to hang out at home.
Right.
But like, no, think about that's a great, seriously, that's a good example. John represents people that are in jail, that are trying to get out.
Yes.
That may, need a bail hearing, may need an important hearing today.
Those protective orders, honestly, Marissa on a day like today could get 3 or 4 of them.
Well, weekends I bet are busy.
Oh, Fridays or Mondays. Yeah. But those are the types of cases they just walk in and demand immediate attention.
Uh-huh.
And as a judge, you got to be ready for it.
And if you're there like, oh, the courts are closed
Courts
today.
are closed. You got to live 3 more days
Good
with this
luck.
situation. Yeah, I'll talk to you Monday.
Hope that dude doesn't come visit you this
right?
weekend.
I know. So that's why it's important
Yeah, it's a
that
good
we don't
point.
shut down government.
Very good point.
Situations like that.
Thank you,
know?
Judge Marissa.
Yeah. So Marissa and I sit there and see the world similarly. That's probably why we got
Over your
married.
coffee and then
Over our
off
coffee.
you go to the podcast.
But yeah, how about Jason's fundraiser, by the way? It was great.
Very
right?
nice. Yeah,
I was
very
just
nice.
looking at some pictures.
Dude,
Saw these pictures.
I'll be
Look at
honest.
this.
So I heard we were having it at Wicker Park.
I saw these photos. They're great.
Yeah.
Jason's a first-time candidate, right? And obviously it's hard to have a lot of people show up for first-time candidates. So I heard we were doing it at Wicker Park, and I was like picturing the other building, which is a little bit smaller, right?
Yeah, social center. Or I always forget which is which. Clubhouse or Clubhouse is the
Yeah, I
small
think
one,
it's Clubhouse.
Yeah.
I thought that's where we were having it. We were having it at the main hall. And I was like, okay, we filled it, man. That was awesome. Jason had,
That looks great.
I don't know, 300 people-ish, that showed up and raised a bunch of money. And the crowd was from all over Lake County. It was super diverse. A lot of police officers.
there,
Yeah.
It was just awesome. I was so happy for him. I was so happy for his wife, Tracy. They worked so hard on this campaign. Our team did a great job of getting people to show up.
Plus, it's always, I think fundraising is always a little daunting for first-time candidates. Just being able to think they're going to come, they want to come see me or they want to come do this.
It's a fear.
Yeah, for sure.
When I had my first fundraiser, and I guarantee you, Jason felt this way. You wake up in the middle of the night and you fear
an empty room.
I'm gonna be standing there with my wife, my kids, and 14 people in a big old hall that holds 500 people, and it's gonna look like a cavern that's empty.
Well, the good thing for you is that we did a pretty good job on that first
I
one.
think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still around.
I'm just saying, that place was packed.
I agree.
Ukrainian Hall.
Yeah, the
Nice.
Ukrainian hall.
Mhm.
Want to hear a secret about that, though? So, back in the old days when I was having fundraisers, I used to give out free tickets. So we'd put a price on it, Joe. This is when I first ran for the same reason we're talking about. So let's say we were worried about the number of people that show up. So we'd put I'm having a $150 fundraiser. Back in those days, that was a big, expensive fundraiser, right? And then we'd go around and I'd hand out 500 free tickets for a $150 fundraiser. I'd go up to you. I'd be like, hey, Joe, want to go to my fundraiser? I got a couple extra tickets. And you're like, how much? I'm like, they're $150 tickets. And you're like, wow. I'm like,
Pass.
here, I'll give you 2. You take, take a date, take whoever
Please
you want.
make sure to show up.
Just show up because I paid a lot of money for these tickets, right? And you get them and you're like, I'm going to freaking.
Or I
kick
got to
my ass
go.
up, right?
I can't let him down.
These
He
are
let me-
$150 tickets, right? I did that 500 times, right? So then what happened was, because I wasn't the mayor, so we shut down that part of town. There were so many people that showed up for the event.
Wow.
Mhm.
And the buzz on the street was, oh my God.
Who's
McDermott,
this guy? He just filled Ukrainian Hall.
He just shut down part of the city with so many people standing outside the door, and they thought everybody paid, and
Yeah, and it was
it was 5% of the people actually
purposeful
paid.
to choose that place. That place was where RFK had an event when he was here in '68, and so that was kind of
Wow.
it
I had
was
more people at my event than RFK.
I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, but it was close.
So anyway, we had a good event. I want to congratulate Jason Gore's campaign.
For sure.
We still are plugging away until May. So, and I acted as a lawyer this week.
Got all dressed up in a suit and tie.
It was, if you guys noticed last Lockpod show, I was a little distracted towards the end.
Yeah.
I had to I found out that I had to go home, shave, clean up, put a suit on, drive to Lake County Government Center, and be a lawyer for my guy Jason. We had a stupid complaint filed against us by a candidate that will never get more than 10% of the vote, David Crane. He's a Republican running for Lake County Sheriff. He's uncontested because most Republicans don't want to waste their time because this is not a Republican area. So David Crane's he decided to file like a ridiculous complaint against my client, and I had to show up on behalf of Jason at the election board. Jason was there. I spoke on his behalf for the campaign, and we worked out one of the issues, which was like a slap on the wrist, like you forgot to put a disclaimer on this, you know the part on the bottom, Jill, that says paid for by the committee to elect. We had a couple things go out without that. And we acknowledged that's a mistake. Our campaign made it. We learned from it. It's not a big deal. It happens. I think it's already happened to other candidates this race, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, at the election board, for disclaimer issues, and they come before the board a lot, and generally the whole idea is like, hey, and it happens a lot with new candidates, like first-time candidates.
Yeah, and Jason,
and he is, and right, so like it'll come. We've even had him before the board after signs are up. And they'll be like, "Oh my God, I just spent all this money on signs and I screwed it up." It'll be like a new candidate, right? And we'll say like, "Okay, well, you got a couple choices: reprint them all, or if you want, just get stickers and go put them on."
Right.
And the idea here is compliance is better than pounding somebody for missing a disclaimer, especially this early,
especially
in the
first-time candidates.
And I'm talking about like this isn't just my view. This is consistent with the board. I mean, it's about
with the Lake County election board.
Yeah, it's three Democrats, 2 Republicans.
You guys would rather see us work with you and fix it other than fight with each other and like.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure you're abiding by the rules, right? The rules are that you should have a disclaimer.
Kevin's on the election board, for those of you that he's a chairman, right?
I'm the chairman, yes. And so we, just comply. And then, like, I think Mike Mellon, who's one of the Republican folks on the board, I think he said it at the hearing. He said something like, "Hey, if we got to have you back here and you're not doing this, and we tell you to put your disclaimer on, you're still blowing us off, then we got an issue."
And there's no way.
Right,
so we walked in. We knew that we made a mistake in a couple instances, and we decided we were just going to fix it. And so we walked in and basically said, "Hey, sorry, election board. We respect you. We respect your authority. We're going to fix the instances where that disclaimer wasn't put on. It wasn't intentional." One of them I thought was sort of on our headquarters. Like, because the whole purpose of the law is, just say you get a flyer in the mail, Jill, and it's like pro Jason Gore, and then you look at the bottom, it says paid for by the committee to elect Jason Gore. That's for you. So you're like, okay, the guy sent me his own flyer. Of course he's touting himself, right? Or like if you get something that slams a candidate in the mail, you're supposed to have the disclosure on there so you could like do the math in your head why this is coming at me like this, right? So I thought, honestly, on our campaign headquarters, it's obvious that that's Jason Gore's campaign headquarters. It's obvious that it's paid for by the committee. We thought it was, and I think we could have made an argument, but we didn't want to fight with the election board. So we got a high lift and we put a sticker on, like Kevin said.
Yeah. So
good job, David Crane. Crime of the century.
Just about and this is where I think there's a little bit of disagreement over like the sign at headquarters, because theoretically, I guess the way I would look at it, is that it could have been paid by somebody else, and you want to know who paid for those things. Like, for example, let's say some labor organization.
There's other campaigns out there currently with no disclosure
could
on
be.
their sign.
I mean, it doesn't
so
take
we
much
get
to do it.
applied to us when there's other instances of that. It's almost like getting pulled over on 80/94 and they said you were speeding, and all the traffic going by is going 80 miles an hour, and they singled you out, and you're like, everybody.
What about
speeds.
the guy that sped by me? True, but
it's almost like but whatever. We didn't want to fight.
Yeah,
we didn't want to fight
before it.
We were at the board just like, you're right. The election board, we made a mistake. We apologize. We're going to fix it. So like count one was dismissed and not dismissed. It was, we agreed that mistakes were made.
Yeah, there were three complaints. 2 got dismissed. 1 was upheld.
Okay.
To fix the disclaimer.
So this is where it gets interesting. So now, Joe, let's say I have a sign that says McDermott, mayor. Well, I can't. Okay. How about this? Let's say John Vesmar runs for mayor. Okay?
Yeah.
And Vesmar puts a sign out that says Vesmar Mayor 2027. Okay?
Vesmar Mayor 2027.
Right?
I like the sound of that.
Okay. So like maybe that's the title.
Where do I donate?
Yeah. Where do I donate? Fucking you guys, all right?
And I already know how to fill.
Lockpod is off the air.
This is your example.
No, hold on. And I already know how to fill fundraisers now. Yes. Give away tickets.
Shit, I'm giving away. So it says Vesmar Mayor 2027, right?
This is great.
And then I file a complaint against John, and I'm like, John Vesmar is holding himself out there saying he's the mayor, and it's confusing people, right? And then I'm like, he has to say the word for. Vesmar for mayor. If he doesn't have for in there, he's breaking the law. He's violating the criminal code, confusing the Hammond residents that he's Mayor Vesmar and he's not Mayor Vesmar. So that's basically the argument of David Crane is Gore has a campaign sign that says Gore Sheriff 2026, right? Everybody knows it's an open seat. There's 5 freaking candidates running for it, right?
Right.
So
there's nothing stopping the other candidates from doing the same thing.
And they do, by the way.
Sure.
So his argument was Jason is violating the criminal law. He needs to be charged with a crime because he's holding himself out there to be the sheriff.
It was like impersonating a public official.
The criminal code he cited to, Kevin, was like for the, you know how we have these weird people that want to be cops, but they're not cops, and they're driving down the street and they pull you over and they have like some janky lights and you pull over and they act like they're police officers, right? That's what the law is there for, is for those instances. It's not for campaign sign violations, right? So basically he was like, you have to put the words for or elect on the signs. And that was the allegation. And he had a third allegation that said Jason violated criminal law and needs to be referred to the Lake County prosecutor.
What? For what?
For misrepresenting the sheriff.
Impersonating a
this is
sheriff.
David Crane's delusional fantasy. This guy is such a moron. He's such a moron. This guy is not, if anybody runs against him in the Republican primary, he's not going to win. Okay. But nobody's running. So he's going to win. And we're going to be facing this guy in November.
Yeah. I mean, I think, just kind of the election board take on this. I mean, obviously we look at every complaint and take a look at it. I think the board was thoughtful about it. It was unanimous.
Well, could I talk?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
There was
an
Indiana Election Commission, which is that considered higher authority for the Lake County Election Board?
It's not necessarily precedential, but like obviously if they talk about stuff and they direct us about something, it's good to look at.
And in this case, there was case law from them in 2015.
There's an opinion, yeah,
that literally talked about this exact issue. Somebody else got a complaint filed against them like Jason did, and it said you have to say the words elect in there or you have to say the word for. And the Indiana Election Commission met and said, no, you do not have to do that. You do not have to have the words for. You do not have to have the words elect in there. And so we found that case. We brought it to the Lake County Election Board. Lake County Election Board realized that it was right on point and voted 5-0 in that case.
Yeah.
Not to deny David Crane's stupid complaint.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about that is that the opinion actually directed county election boards to look at this opinion and follow it. So, but and Crane brought up some statute that said everything before this date by the commission is void. Whether it is or it isn't, I think it's still instructive. And I think actually, again, it was either Mr. Mellon or Ms. Brandenburg that brought up the fact that like it's instructive, and so we should look at it. And it was 5-0 dismissed.
And then the third count was we need Jason referred to the Lake County prosecutor for misrepresenting himself as the Lake County sheriff. This guy with a straight face is saying stuff like this. Jason was a federal agent. He was vetted by the FBI, and now allegedly he's holding himself out there as the sheriff. It's just the stupidest thing. David Crane is just the stupidest candidate I've ever seen. And this guy is like with a straight face. Him and his janky-ass lawyer, who wasn't even a lawyer, are making these ridiculous arguments, and the Lake County Election Board was trying not to laugh at him. Like, you want us to charge him with a crime for not putting 4 on his sign, right? So they dismissed that 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we take all the complaints seriously. We try to be respectful of all the people that are there. Give each party a chance to speak and make a decision. And
I get it, Kevin.
These weren't 3-2 votes. These were 5-0.
I get it. And I know the hat you're wearing when you say that kind of thing. But this is like a good. The fact that we're even talking about this is why people hate politics, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
It's just, what are we doing here?
Isn't it dumb?
Well, it's like, let me get an article.
David Crane's just the dumbest candidate I've ever seen. It's like, why don't you go out there and try to get elected instead of what he's doing is sitting back just sliming everybody in the race, thinking that he has these like AI drawings that come out. So I have to say, when he's done, he's probably going to be half-assed decent at AI because that's all he's done.
That AI drawing was so ridiculous.
It doesn't even look like us.
Wait, is this supposed to be you guys?
That's supposed to be Tom with the string.
That's supposed to be me.
And that's supposed to be me with gray hair. I take exception to that, man.
Wait, you in the back, Democratic chair.
Like what?
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
And then that's supposed to be Mike Brown and Mara. Like,
Who's the dog?
Mara and her dog.
Oh my God, I didn't even catch that.
Yes.
So that's supposed to be me with the puppet master stuff. I
Yes,
didn't even know
because
that.
down below, look, it says
that-
you in the picture.
Oh, yeah,
Tom
look at
McDermott,
that.
and it spells your name Tomas.
Tomas.
Tomas McDermott. The
See,
Latin,
that's how
it's
dumb
the
he
Latin
is.
version.
Who
of
the hell spells it that way? Tomas, David Crane. Have enough
even
damn
look
respect
like
for me
you.
to spell my name the right way, you freaking moron.
Look at those glasses.
Okay, you want to hear the
AI.
best? So hold it. Now, we haven't even gotten to the best part of this whole thing. So I've painted the whole picture
Doesn't
for
look
you,
like
okay?
Mara's dog either.
So we're all sitting back as a campaign like, David Crane, that's all he's doing is sliming everybody in this race, except for one person. It's obvious that he's not saying anything against one of our fellow candidates, Jerry Williams, okay? Jerry Williams his campaign's being run by Roy Dominguez. I've known Roy, and I've been crossing swords with Roy for a long time, okay? Roy is a different kind of political manager. He'll jump into the mud in a second, okay? That's in my opinion of Roy. Anyway, I always thought it was interesting that David Crane was never making allegations about Jerry Williams. And then David Crane, because he's not the brightest bulb and, posted something on social media that accidentally shared a conversation him and Jerry Williams were having about this newspaper article. So look at that. He wanted to put
Hold on, what is this?
the newspaper article out there. Okay. Sheriff candidate reminded to include disclosure. And instead, he snapshotted the whole thing on his screen, and it was a conversation, him and
What?
Jerry Williams.
I did not see this.
Yes.
And he posted this on Facebook.
And then I screenshotted it. I'm like, you moron. Like, Jerry Williams doesn't want the whole world to know he's talking to you, moron. He doesn't. I don't think Jerry Williams wants his Democratic voters to know he's coordinating and colluding with the Republican nominee.
Oh, no.
And putting stuff out before the Lake County Election Board.
Oh,
and he
no.
posted this conversation they were having and put it on Facebook.
That's weird.
So we snapped it as a campaign. And now I'm like, okay, Jerry. I know you obviously Roy Dominguez and you are like jumping in the mud and trying to slime my candidate. That's fine. It's funny, Kevin. All the candidates are really nice to each other right now.
As the campaigns
Not anymore,
go
buddy.
on.
Not
Wait
anymore.
till you get some more AI. From this.
I'm waiting for
Tomas.
Tomas, Tomas.
Wow.
When I was in Spanish too for 3 years in a row,
You were
that was my
Tomas?
name. Tomas, yeah.
Tomas.
I like that. Maybe he knew that.
I was an expert at Spanish too when I got out of high school.
So what's this? So you jumped in
Oh yeah,
and commented on this post.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Hey, elect David. Oh gosh, I just lost it. Sorry, hold on.
It's right here.
Here it is.
Right in
on
front of
the
you.
screen.
Okay. When you post screenshots of private text conversations on Facebook, the bare minimum of decency and professionalism is to redact the name of the person you're communicating with. Frankly, I doubt the Democratic candidate for sheriff, Jerry Williams, intended for the entire public to see that the two of you were colluding about a complaint you filed against my candidate. That post effectively confirms what we now know to be true. You are coordinating with one of the Democratic candidates for sheriff regarding matters that are actively before the Lake County Election Board.
All right. Well, that's exciting. It's just the beginning of, I'm sure, a very exciting race coming up this primary or this May. So make sure you register to vote. IndianaVoters.com.
Politics is fun. And honestly, I jumped in this campaign on purpose for a lot of reasons. Obviously, I got a great candidate, but it's just stuff like this that keeps you awake at night.
I
For
gotta
sure.
show this
Let's,
too. This is I noticed after the election board, shortly after, Jason Gore updated their profile
wow.
banner with
Even though
the
they didn't need to.
tiniest.
But you know what?
Didn't even need to.
'Cause that's,
They didn't even need to.
but that's because Jason is just a good person. And he doesn't want the election board. He doesn't want bad blood. So he went out and he's like, listen, I respect the election board. And Jason's a good person. He was a federal agent. You know, he doesn't want allegations that he's like trying to skirt the law. That's not the kind of guy he is. So I'm glad he did that. I wouldn't have done it personally.
I
but
didn't even know he did that.
God bless
That's
Jason.
interesting. All right.
But I love that you really can't even see 4 if you're not looking closely.
That's for you, David Crane.
I
That
love it.
small 2 font FOR is for you, David Crane.
We got to get some. We got to get
It's the high point of his campaign. He
We
got
got
us to put 4 on
mailbag.
there.
We got all kinds of stuff, and we want to
Yes,
get
sir.
Senator Pol in here.
Yes,
So let's do
get
some
moving.
ads.
Let's get moving. Power in Indiana Lake County Studios. Power in Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Power in Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve, powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com, or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestomer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestomer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you. Hablamos Español.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outdoor patio, serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their amazing food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit, let them show you that customer service is their top priority. Check out more at bywaybrewing.beer. Just had dinner there last night. It was excellent.
Always excellent.
I had that beef sandwich with the horseradish.
Oh, yeah.
and the
Executioner's song.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
Sounds like I might be going there for lunch. Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana with a 40-year legacy of excellence. Their experienced team, led by Rick Waltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time, within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
All right. We're going to, before we do mailbag, I want Jill and everybody in the studio to cover up because John's going to do the mailbag logo. And all right.
Oh, man.
Ready? All right. Mailbag.
Mailbag.
It's not feeling good. When he came in and said, I have a fever, I was like, okay, not great. We'll see if Jill makes it next week to work.
What was I going to do? Call Chris at 5 in the morning?
No.
Yeah, no.
You know.
Yeah.
We got mailbag. This is great.
This is a Kevin mailbag.
The most exciting part of this mailbag is it was for Tom, but the person who sent it to me was like, hey, I don't know how best to get a hold of the mayor. Would you mind passing this along to him? So it came to me, and I got to forward it to Tom. And it's a good one.
Yeah. Kevin, I hope all is well. I just wanted to send you a note to pass along to the mayor regarding people giving him shit about working with Governor Braun. Not that mayor cares that much, but he should rest assured that he is on the right side of this one. I yield to few people in my antipathy for the MAGA GOP, and I know that I am well to the left of the mayor on many issues, but I have the luxury of not holding public office, and am thus free to be more radical in front of my keyboard. I just felt like he missed the chance to clearly articulate why he is also correct in this case from a political standpoint, not just a practical one. One of the biggest problems with the current GOP is its unwillingness to compromise, particularly when some ancillary benefit may inure to a group they collectively dislike. If Dems refuse to work with elected officials from the GOP when their interests are aligned, then the Dems become the problem. Moreover, Dems should heap praise on those members of the GOP in the rare instances when they are willing to pursue those common interests. Praise may encourage further cooperation and plant the seeds for future compromise. There will be plenty of time during election season to bash the GOP on the laundry list of bad policies, bad legislation, and personal faults of its representatives. However, it is both bad governance and bad politics to not work together when your interests align. That's from
Matt M.
Thank you, Matt. What a great letter.
Well written.
Yeah.
And it goes to what we talked about last time, right? Like, you're getting shit from some elements of the Democratic Party for cooperating with Governor Braun. I mean,
on a deal that could be a game
potential
changer.
massive project.
A deal that would
for the state.
double the assessed value of my city. It would double the assessed value of, and by the way, Hammond's not a small town. All right, it would double the assessed value of our city. One project, and what am I supposed to do? Complain?
I'm a Democrat.
Governor Braun, I think you should do it differently. Or like, what the?
we feel differently about XYZ issues, so I'm not going to work with you on this.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
I think
It's
the
insane.
regular person, like the regular voter, and we're going to talk about kind of like what's going on with a certain segment of the population in a second, and voting. But I think the regular person and resident likes to see government work together, regardless of what party you're from.
I'm a party person, and I want to see government work together.
Agree. Me too.
When I
Same.
first got elected, Joe, when we would go down to Indy because it was fun. We'd go down to Indy, and then you'd go out, and I would have a dinner where half the table would be Republicans, half the table would be Democrats, and we had a jolly old time. We were just sitting there enjoying, laughing, arguing a little bit about what happened in the General Assembly that day. But there would be both parties would be there just having relationships together,
Because deals get made when there's compromise. I think best deals get made for the citizenry when there's deals made and there's compromise. If you just throw through one thing that's one-sided and just shove it down anyone's throat, generally that's not probably the best deal. I mean, it's. I think compromise is where the meat of government exists. That's
and
where
been gone for
because now and unfortunately some people that are so partisan are like, you have to vote this way 100% of the time or you're hurting the party. I just don't agree with that.
So there's this New Yorker article that we're going to talk about right now. That this is the title: A majority of young voters now reject both parties. What is Gen Z? Gen Z. Because this article is
like
about
our
Gen Z.
kids, right? Like,
is that our kids?
Younger than Lindsay, younger than Chase, or
I think Lindsay and Chase are probably Gen Z. What do you think,
well?
Jill? Jill,
I don't even know what I am.
Really?
Google it, John.
Yeah,
Google me.
Because this is about Gen Z. I think it would be like our kids' age, like 20s ish.
13 to 28.
13 to 28.
So
So
Lindsay's
through
not.
Tommy,
Lindsay and Chase are
like
both
through
too
Ethan
old.
and Tommy.
Okay, so this is interesting because I think Tommy is disillusioned.
I think Aiden is too.
Think about it. These are the kids that
Charlie.
were going to school during the pandemic. These are the kids that everything is just now the housing is just out of control. It's hard to get a job. So anyway,
affordability is an issue, right?
why Gen Z has antipathy towards both parties. This is a New Yorker summary. New Yorker reports that we're seeing something genuinely new in American politics. A majority of young voters, especially Gen Z, now reject both major political parties outright. Gallup data shows 56% of Gen Z and 54% of millennials identify as independents, far higher than previous generations in the same age. In the past, independent often just meant voters who quietly lean Democrat or Republican, but today that label reflects something deeper: real disaffection and alienation, not moderation. What's driving this isn't a search for a centrist middle ground. In fact, research shows independents are ideologically diverse. Many hold strong views. For Gen Z voters, the frustrations are the following: sky-high housing costs, student debt, bad job market, rising cost of living, a sense that the future is less stable than the past, a collapse in trust in institutions like the presidency, and growing anger over U.S. foreign policy, especially in places like Gaza. But basically, all these issues are driving Gen Zers away from both political parties.
Yeah, I thought one of the stats in here was interesting. There was a 2025 University of Chicago survey that found 56% of young voters view the Democratic Party unfavorably, and 62% feel the same way and view the Republican Party unfavorably. So, like, it's disillusionment. They're not addressing our issues. Now, young voters traditionally don't vote in as high numbers as older voters, but I think it's important because if you don't start out engaged, you potentially don't get engaged as you go through life.
Right.
And
I agree with you.
Yeah. And so
I was a dork about government when I was in my 20s.
Me too.
I loved government.
Absolutely.
I was like listening to talk radio all the time. I was like a government dork.
Got involved in my first campaign in college. Yeah, and when I was probably 19 or 20.
You know what's funny is my kids too. Like, okay, so between Tommy and Patrick, they're both Gen Zers.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick is very interested in government.
Yeah.
He's very much a part of a party. He's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very interested. He knows what's going on in the world. Tommy's just like, could care less.
Checked out, yeah. It's interesting.
I think Tommy's a Democrat personally.
Sure.
But Tommy just could care less, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things like, and this isn't difficult, right? Like the housing affordability. Like, I would think that our Congress would address this issue, or at least I would hope the Democrats would, because it's low-hanging fruit. Get in power in 2026, get it squared away, and pass some legislation. This isn't rocket science. You know what the issues are. So.
I wish there was a third party. I really do. I think we need it, or a fourth party. What do you think about this, Joe?
Do you think that these kids not identifying as either side, does it stop them from voting in the primary since you have to declare?
Good point. Absolutely. I definitely think that.
Maybe they don't.
I know a lot of people that don't vote in the primary because of that reason.
Many
I hear it
people
all
don't.
the time.
Well, I'm not a Democrat or Republican, so I'm not choosing.
Right.
Which I don't necessarily get it because I think you should
I don't think you should have to declare a party. I think that's ancient.
You don't have to declare, but well, I guess you do because you got to vote.
You have to walk in
primary.
and say, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican.
Yeah, because
and
you
there's
get
some
to vote for
people
those candidates.
that they agonize over that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be labeled like that.
That's true.
So what do? They just don't vote. And
In
then
the
the funny
primary.
thing is, Kev, that has ramifications.
Sure it does.
A lot of these people that aren't voting in primaries, one day they get an itch to run for office. And then they're like, okay, I'm running for trustee. And they go out there and, what are you? I'm a Democrat. And they're like, you didn't vote Democrat in the last primary election. And you got problems, right? Or if you voted the wrong way in the last election, you definitely got problems.
Yeah, and the other ramification I was thinking about was that the candidate that you may like and would have voted for in the primary may have lost because you didn't go out and vote.
True story.
So it is important to vote in the primary, go with the party that you believe you're most aligned with and go for it. I think it's important to vote. We're going to follow this story as we go through the year because I'm very interested to see how primaries across the nation go with young voters. So
how would if we had a third party? What do you think it would be? How would it break up? Would it be independent?
Probably. I like. You've always said M for moderate. I think
I do
like that. Or
I
middle.
do like that. Mid
Model. Mid moderate. I don't know.
What would your logo be? You got donkeys taken, elephants taken. What's middle?
know.
Like an owl?
It doesn't sound exciting.
It does sound exciting. What
An
are you, the
owl?
wise old owl?
Yeah, the
right?
wise old owl. There you go.
But you couldn't catch the young vote if it's a wise old
True.
owl. Yeah, you got to think of something.
Well, let's do some ads. Senator Pol's in the green room, so he's waiting for you to go get him.
Okay.
Why don't you read our first ad? We're going to come back, and we're going to finish this.
Senator Rodney Pol. This is going to be a great guest, guys. He's young, cool. He's been a state senator now for since 2021.
I think his second term. Well, he got caucused in, so then I don't know where his first.
I think he took over in 2021, so he's probably been there about 4 or 5 years. So it's going to be great. So hang with us when we come back. We're going to have Rodney Pol here. We'll start off with 219 Development and Bauer Construction. By the way, I was talking to 219 Development and Bauer Construction's leadership the other day.
Nice.
And I said, we just had a clip go viral, and what ad was in the background when it went viral? It wasn't the Lockpot ad. It was Bauer Construction.
Their
right
logo.
behind and there was hundreds of thousands of people that saw it. So it's like, I think
Getting your money's worth.
You're getting your money's worth, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're excited to welcome longtime friends of the show and now one of our premier studio sponsors, Bauer Construction Company and 219 Development Services. This week, Bauer and 219 are highlighting an ongoing project, Davies Imperial Coatings in Hammond, a $15 million industrial development, bringing 40-plus high-quality jobs to our community. Together, 219 Development is serving as a developer consultant, leading pre-development, while Bauer Construction is serving as general contractor for a streamlined turnkey delivery. If you're building or developing in Northwest Indiana, Bauer and 219 are the teams you want in your corner. They can transform your vision to reality with confidence. Learn more or get started at 219-803-0417.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Hiring a full-time marketing manager is costly, but what if you didn't need to? At the Branding Room Floor, we are your marketing department, providing marketing strategy, creative design, web development, full brand management, and more, all for less than the cost of a single employee. We're the region's award-winning full-service marketing agency, partnering with businesses and organizations that want to complete marketing department results without the overhead. Stop doing it yourself or delegating to unqualified employees. Get the support, expertise, and partnership of a full marketing team with the Branding Room Floor. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com to get started today.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call. Schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Enjoy dry January with a cold alcohol-free beer. Michelob Ultra Zero is a superior alcohol-free beer that has 29 calories, 6.5 carbs, and a new lime-flavored option for 2026. For those that love craft brews, try the new Golden Road Mango Cart NA or Elysian Easy Dust IPA. Don't forget about Stella Artois 0.0, which is brewed to give the import drinker a perfectly balanced alcohol-free beer. Are you feeling a beer right now?
Yeah, cold beer, perfect.
With so many great non-alcoholic beer options, dry January has never been easier for those that love beer. Enjoy beers and cheers this January responsibly.
I'm still going, by the way, dry January.
Nice.
I've been failing.
It sucks.
I've been failing all month.
It sucks.
You only got to fail once, Kevin. You don't have to start.
January's not a
after
good
that.
month to give up alcohol.
Agreed.
Everybody drinks in January.
Agreed. I agree with that.
It's too cold. It's way too cold.
Yeah, you want to go home, drink a bottle of wine, and fall asleep.
For
so.
sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, today on Left of Center, we are joined by Indiana State Senator Rodney Pol, a dedicated public servant representing Senate District 4, which includes communities across Porter and LaPorte counties. Senator Pol was first elected to the Indiana Senate in 2021 and serves as an attorney, former Gary City attorney, and committed advocate for working families in Northwest Indiana. He holds a bachelor's degree from Indiana University Bloomington and a JD from Indiana University McKinney School of Law. As a legislator, Rodney is focused on advancing public education, workers' rights, environmental protections, and community safety, bringing both legal expertise and local experience to the State House. He lives in Chesterton with his wife and their 2 children. We're excited to welcome Senator Pol to the show and talk about his work in the legislature, his priorities for Northwest Indiana, and what's ahead in the 26th session. Welcome to Lockpod, Senator Rodney Pol.
Long-time listener, first-time guest.
Yeah, welcome.
I like that.
Dude,
it feels good to be here,
I
man.
cannot believe this is your first. It's stupid of us, actually. It's stupid of me.
We tried. It's always been schedules. Like it's tough. I mean, Kevin, as a practicing attorney and then in the legislature, it's tough, man. It is.
Fridays are usually good for the legislators, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Finally
During
get a break.
session, Yeah, get a break. Making that drive up. I actually left last night thinking, I hope this isn't. And actually, it's a funny story. I hope this isn't what's going to happen in my first session, which was I was hearing the weather was going to be bad, and I was stuck on 65 for 13 hours. And actually,
when was that?
Lord.
That was February of 2022, and then I turned around and did the jobs tour with you.
Yeah.
And actually,
that's right.
Funny, an even funnier story. This morning, I'm leaving to come here, and I'm saying goodbye to my daughter, and she goes, "Where are you going, Dad?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go do Mayor Tom's podcast." And she goes, "Oh, Mayor Bullpucky. Do you know why she calls you Mayor Bullpucky?"
No.
So
you got nicknames in Chesterton.
I
man.
like it.
You were we were doing you were doing a great speech. You were getting the crowd pumped up. We were at the jobs tour out in Valpo, and it's like me, Jeremy Rivas, Dave Reynolds,
Good
you,
people.
Mervan, and you're on fire.
Okay.
And you get to a point where you're talking about you're talking about your opponent, and you're like, and all the bull. And you looked and you go, they're two little, two little girls
Right
in the front row.
of me. Right in front of me. Yeah.
And you said the word Bullpucky instead of what you wanted to say. And to this day, they call you Mayor Bullpucky
there you
because they
go.
thought it was the funniest word that they'd ever heard. They'd never heard
Bullpucky.
that.
You could use that at
we
school.
got the show title right there.
Mayor Bullpucky. So Rodney, Senator, tell one of the things I know you got caucused in and then you got elected right in 22. So are you running this year coming up or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
You already
26
announced
year.
You already filed?
I have yet to file. I'll be filing probably the next week or two.
But yeah, it's not a big mystery. You're filing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 And you've been down there, so you've got the temp. We're just curious, like this whole. I'd like to know the temperature of the Senate, given the fact that your colleagues on the other side of the aisle had a drag out fight about a month ago.
It was wild. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And there were a lot of conversations that were happening. Obviously, this blew up. I mean, all of a sudden Indiana's on the map, and what was potentially just disagreements that were at the state level became kind of a line in the sand. And so for us down there now, I mean, it's definitely been it's definitely been a different session. It is you starting to see folks that are, the conversations that were happening, or kind of the people that were talking, are seemingly having those growing pains. But at the same time, you can kind of see that there's definitely a business as usual on the outside. How this is going to play out, it is yet to be seen. I think that people are really closely paying attention to what, how they approach this session, because you got the primaries that are coming up, and you've got the president that's saying we're going to back these folks. A lot of these folks are very popular in their district,
and that's what's interesting to me is, like, if they don't lose, the president looks even weaker.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's certain folks that I'm like, this is doubling down in this way. I don't think is going to pay out. I think that those folks that did right by their constituency are going to prevail, and it's just going to further alienate. I mean, if I were in their position, the folks that are, that are kind of championing this, well, we're going to primary, I would look at, like, what are we doing wrong? How did we get this wrong?
There you go.
Because I really truly think that those folks were hearing it from their district. This isn't right. Cheating isn't right. So,
Senator, do you think it turned out? I mean, I know you think it turned out the right way, but I'll be honest with you. I was surprised that the Senate held firm. I thought once the bright lights clicked on, I thought a lot of your fellow senators from the GOP would fold.
Get pressured. And they were pressured.
They were called directly. They were called out by name, the president, the vice president. I thought after that pressure campaign that they would buckle, and I'm completely proud of the Indiana Senate and you.
I'm proud of Indiana.
I mean, Rod Bray is a fantastic Senate pro tem.
That's awesome to hear.
He really is. I mean,
I'm glad. That's so happy. I'm happy to hear you say that. I think he is too, by the way. I'm proud of him.
He is cerebral when it comes to, how he operates. Rod is incredibly think he's very measured, and he understands his constituency. He understands his caucus. I think he knows that he's going to get pushback, and he allows for that. I think he allows for that healthy dynamic, so people, those ideas can get out there. But at the end of the day, I think he understands Indiana in a way that is, it's different than, that kind of flavor of the week. And he comes from this legacy. Say what you will about, legacy politicians, those that came from, their dad was a legislator. Rod Bray's a different kind of breed.
I'm one of them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you're from a family of
absolutely,
absolutely.
And there's something I think to be garnered from the fact that you understand what the culture is from a historical standpoint, and what the temperature is, and that things may change at the national level, but Indiana, there are certain core values in Indiana that I don't think you can shake, and I think Rod Bray is a really great representation.
I do too. Was Senator Bray's father also in the Senate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was very storied, and I've told him that before. I said, your dad had a really great legacy here, and following this, you've lived up to it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Honestly, when I got into politics, obviously my dad was a big name in the area, and I was determined to make a name for myself. I didn't want to be Tom's kid anymore. I wanted to be my own person, and I know you feel the same way about.
Absolutely.
You got to go in there and make noise and do your own thing, and that's great to hear, though, man.
I think those are great words about Senator Brand. I'm really interested to hear that because first of all, I think you're right. Hoosiers are pragmatic, and I don't think Hoosiers like to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Especially like that, and so that was really interesting. But I guess the next question I had for you, Senator, was being part of what I would call the super minority, right? Because in the Senate, we've got 50 representatives. What is it, 39-11? Or is it 41-9 or something like that?
40-10.
Okay.
40-10,
So you're one of 10 Democrats in the Senate. How do you get stuff done?
I mean, it's really working across the aisle, and being able to tell the story in a way, I think, particularly from our standpoint in Northwest Indiana, almost every session I've gotten a bill passed, and a lot of it is, particularly for Northwest Indiana.
You got the one with the life rings.
The life rings was one.
That was important.
Right.
We have people drown every year, and you forcibly, put life rings all around Lake Michigan where the popular swimming spots, which is smart.
It really is. I mean,
and seems like a no-brainer, right?
I know. It's like, what? We didn't have this before.
Have those.
Thank God for Senator Pol.
We need a law to tell us to put life rings.
You don't realize you need it until you're drowning, and you're like, oh shit,
we've got to have life rings.
If I get out of this, I'm going to pass a law.
Well, I had. I mean, it was wild. I even had. There was one of the fire chiefs in my area who had originally said he didn't think that they were going to be a good idea, that they were maybe going to get stolen, that people were going to rely on them. and following an incident that was even right before the bill went into effect. So a lot of the communities knew that they were coming. You had 2 young girls that were saved by them, and the public safety officers that were responding, the first responders. The water was terrible this day. They were terrified to get in there, and you had individuals on the beach that helped save those 2 girls before they drifted out further.
Wow.
And he had publicly put out on Facebook, I was wrong about this. And it was one of those things where it's kind of like it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I found out, I remember sitting there with my wife and a bunch of other friends. We were at a Cubs game, and I get these texts start flowing in from folks that are in public safety in Porter, Indiana. And I mean, I'm like tearing up because I'm hearing that, 2 you girls got saved.
I love it,
difference,
man.
bud.
Oh,
Isn't that
big
what it's
time.
all about? You made a difference.
Big time.
And sometimes you get it like that, and sometimes you may not hear it for a long time. So.
Absolutely.
I had a question going back off Kevin's last question, and then it sort of dovetails into something you were saying earlier about Senator Bray. To hear you have such great respect for the leader.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big-time Republican. He's the leader of the Republican Party. And it makes me feel like, because I always picture, he doesn't have to talk to you, right, Rodney?
Yeah.
He doesn't. He could be like,
10.
screw the, I'm just writing 10 off, and I'm just going to work on my caucus, right?
They literally can do all the business of the legislature without us, or of the Senate without us.
And he doesn't do that. He goes
No.
out of his way to include you and, make you feel important, which is, I think that's great.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think it helps too that a lot of times you find ways to relate to folks. I mean, Senator Bray and I are both attorneys, so a lot of times there's we have a discussion and it comes down to a legal argument, how this is going to actually play out in the courts. And he can't attend to every single bill, so I might approach him about one of his members' bill and said, hey, this is potentially this is an issue that I foresee. I'm going to talk to the author, try and get this straightened out, but will you help me? And almost always.
great to hear.
Well, having an open door, I
That
think,
makes
is
me feel
important.
so good
Yeah,
to hear.
even if he doesn't necessarily end up agreeing with you, having an open door and listening, I think, is a great.
Kevin, I always picture the worst. I always picture you guys sitting in the dark, like I do, man.
In
just
the
to hear
back corner.
That. Yeah, they're like, well, we don't talk to those 10. Are you crazy?
Go to lunch if you want. We're gonna have a vote.
There are those bills where you're just like they're going to railroad us on this, and you get up there and you make your best argument, but at the end of the day,
where it's going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
Well, one of the big topics that's going around Northwest Indiana right now is the Bears, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
tell me your like.
Bear down, Senator.
That's right. And he's got a nice orange Leuna cup. He's going with the
Oh, yeah.
laborers
Oh,
today.
Yeah.
But tell me about like your thoughts and what the kind of the feel is downstate about. Wow, could this really happen? And
Oh, I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we just yesterday in appropriations, we passed Senate Bill 27. So that's moving. That establishes the authority to basically help build the stadium here in Northwest Indiana. It sets the parameters around it. It's essentially the Colts deal, a little bit different. There's some bugs that we're working out on that. But essentially, it's setting the stage for Northwest Indiana. And I mean, looking at what the relationship is with the Bears in Illinois and looking how much better it is. I mean, I heard you guys talking about it a couple weeks ago. You laid out every argument that is, I mean, it's just common sense.
It is.
Between the property tax certainty, the low property taxes, essentially the disagreement over what's owed over there. I mean, there's so much that puts us ahead of the game. I mean, big time. This isn't 1994.
I agree.
agree.
This isn't Planet Park.
Oh yeah,
Not Planet Park.
I still have the old. I remember. When I was a kid, you used to see like the Gary Bear shirts.
Yeah.
I still have one of those. This isn't that. This
No, I
isn't
agree.
the 1994 discussion. I mean, there is so much more of a different and the different locations that you guys are putting out there. I mean, I actually took some of my staff to the Bears Lions game, and we're leaving Soldier Field. And we're on 80, we're on the toll road. And they're like, so we've been in the car for maybe 20 minutes. And they're like, so where's the new stadium going to be? I'm like, oh, well, Wolf Lake's a spot that they're talking about. It's right there. I'm like, they're like, are we still in Illinois? I'm like, no, that's Indiana. That's how close we are.
Yeah.
It's not Arlington
awesome.
Heights,
Yeah, Arlington Heights for me would be a bummer, man.
We're going to enrich the Skyway ownership if we do this. That's the one thing that bugs me a little bit. It does, man.
Maybe you think it's 8:10 now to go one way on the
I know.
Skyway. Maybe
We're
it'll go down.
We're sending our
I
money to
don't think
Australia.
so.
That wasn't us, right, Rodney?
No, I was actually an intern that year, though. I was an intern in the House, and I got
I was
so
freaking
many
mayor.
calls.
Can you believe it? I was around.
I mean, that was what, second year in your first term
Mitch,
still.
Mitch
Yeah,
Daniels,
Mitch Daniels, yeah.
Major moves.
Well,
Major moves.
and Mayor Daley on the Skyway.
Yeah.
So-
Well, Mayor Daley did it first,
Yep.
and then we followed suit with the
Major
same company.
moves.
Yeah. Hey, Rodney, I've been locally. I know you've been real involved in utility issues.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously up here we have NIPSCO, and it seems like that's the topic as of late with the public.
Big time.
I know there's demonstrations being planned in front of NIPSCO headquarters. And a lot of people are just like, we hate data centers because of the utility bills, and that frustrates me because but anyway, what's your opinion on this whole matter?
Well, I mean, right now people are opening up these bills and they're seeing these new delivery charges. They're very upset about this. My caucus had put forward at least 4 bills this session, and we basically had this kind of like, here's a buffet of options for the utility committees to take a look at to see how we could ease the burden on some of the folks, on the folks here in Northwest Indiana and throughout the state on these utility bills. I had an approach where I was looking at like what the IURC does and what those recommendations are that they have to look at in order to approve a rate hike. So that includes making sure that you're not, that for our low income families, they're not spending more than 6% of their monthly income, which I mean, right now they're spending way more than that. If you look at what they're bringing in on a monthly basis versus what they have to pay for it. So they would have to put that into consideration. The IURC would have to hold hearings here in Northwest Indiana to make sure that, the people, they can face the people. Because right now those hearings are, in Indianapolis. And I mean, if you're a low income family that is worried about what your bill is going to be, are you going to take the drive to Indianapolis to go and
it's a
voice your
hidden
opinion?
office too. I know where it is because I used to stay in that hotel.
Yeah.
It's a random place. It's like it's in the second story of the Hyatt.
Yep.
The IURC. It's like the
room,
second story of the Hyatt. Like who would think to go there? Like it's literally. I've been in the IURC on a matter before. It was a bunch of bureaucrats and me and a couple lawyers.
Oh yeah.
Senator, do you think Governor Braun's like change of the guard over at the IURC had something to do with like the issues with utility rates, or because I know Senator Zay just resigned his spot in the Senate and is now the head of the IURC. So was that a move by the governor to like signal to consumers, or do you think that was a move by the governor to signal to the utilities?
I don't know on that one. I've worked with Zay for the last 4 years. Good guy. I'm assuming that he's going to be on the hot seat right away. And I think Zay is he's run for Congress the last couple times. I think he's somebody who's got his finger on the pulse in his community. I'm assuming he's going to be hearing from it like crazy. So I am assuming some of these these rate hikes are going to be looked at with a little bit more scrutiny, particularly because the conversation is just continuously heating up. I mean, some of the other bills that we're putting out there are 3% cap. You can't do more than 3%. And some of these some of these percentage that you're seeing is 17%. I mean, we saw the biggest hike here in 20 years. And so that is,
wow.
I think that you're going to start to see that stuff get curbed. But it's only because you're going to see so much more pressure, both from the public and from folks on the other side of the aisle, on the Democratic side, that are saying, hey, these people they're pissed. They can't take this anymore.
They are pissed.
So.
I think it's like, it goes to this affordability thing. And I guess, unfortunately, if you're a utility, like people get a utility bill every month. And when it's cold out, your utility bill is going to go up anyway. Yep. And you've got that going on, plus the hike. And so,
plus the supply and demand, the demand
absolutely.
for electrons between data centers, electric cars, the demand for electrons is very high. So like your demand for electron is, you're fighting Tesla, you're fighting data centers, and they want power also. And that's going to drive up the price. I mean,
and I guess if you're utility, you're thinking, well, how do I increase generation? You only can increase generation by building plants, and those cost money.
Or Kevin, how about this? They're shutting down generation locally. NIPSCO's shutting down power. So like, it's almost like OPEC-like. What are they doing with OPEC? If they want to drive up the price of oil, they shut down production, drive up the price, and then they open everything up and they make a ton of money. It's like very OPEC-like what's going on locally.
That's pretty good comparison.
Yeah, go ahead, Senator.
No, I'm saying that's a good comparison, but
And so you've got a bill, I think, that's going through, right? It just got through out of committee, or
no,
not yet.
It's not. It hasn't moved yet. I mean, we've got a number of bills. I mean, Senator Cadora's carrying one that eliminate. You guys know you pay sales tax on your utilities. A lot of people don't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, 7%.
Wow.
So it removes.
John.
Yeah. Removes that
That's
sales
a no-brainer.
tax.
But
yeah.
like,
Give me 7% back every month.
But like we were talking earlier, when you float some bills, Senator, even though you're a great guy and even though you have the respect of a lot of the people on the other side of the aisle, you'll float some bills and they're DOA, right?
Absolutely.
I have a feeling a lot of these utility bills fit that category. Is that true?
That's true. I mean, it's some of these are, and you know what though? Like, I think that's the point though, is even if the bill isn't going to make it to a committee, that bill's out there, the public can see it, and they can say, hey, I want you, wherever they're at, if they're in Indianapolis, if they're down in, Vigo County, if they're in Evansville, they can look at that and say, hey, Senator Hundley had a great bill where it prohibited the use of any profits to be used for, lobbying and some of the
I saw
other
that
stuff.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
they could put lobbying costs into their rate case.
Yeah,
that's sort of crazy.
So she's got bills on.
We're paying for NIPSCO's lobbying.
Wow,
team. It's part of it's part of their rate case.
And I get that the state relies on sales tax, right, for their budget and stuff. But at the same time, like we don't pay sales tax on groceries, so maybe they can reduce the sales tax on utilities. Maybe that's a good start.
I bet you that's
something like that.
That's a smart play right there.
I mean, right
reduce
now,
take it down to 3%.
You floated that bill.
That one was sales tax was Kadora.
Good job, Fatty.
Yeah, Fatty's got that
He's
one.
supposed to be on the show too, by the way.
Oh,
we need to get him on.
I know.
You guys would be good on
You're
together.
going to need 5 hours because Fatty.
We'll just stop talking and we'll just let
special long edition of Log Pod.
I invited Fatty one time to come up and go door knocking with me, and we spent the first hour.
One door.
How many houses?
No, not even knocking on doors. Him talking to the 20 people that were coming out to knock doors. He told them his entire story, and it was great because it fired them all up.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting there looking at him.
You're like,
got
the
another
sun's
hour
down.
left. Yeah. Well, we got 30 minutes left to knock on doors. But we're all fired up.
He does have an incredible story, though. Like his story, coming
he's
from
incredible.
the West Bank, and
We got to get him on.
What about another senator I'm hearing a lot about lately is Senator Andrea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of talk about Andrea Hundley. She's a great lady, great senator.
She's
talk
fantastic.
that she may be interested in running for mayor of Indianapolis, I'm hearing.
Yeah, she is. She's definitely being talked about for that position. I mean, I'm just absolutely bummed because she's such a great. I mean, shout out to the teachers out there. We need more teachers to be in the legislature because there's nobody that can hold court and teach a lesson like
teachers
to adults that sometimes we act like children. Like a teacher can. And, she's been fantastic for public education. She's been fantastic for health. She's just one of these folks that people really galvanize around. They really, she's just kind of got that gift for being just a natural leader.
Yeah.
You love the Senate?
I do.
Awesome.
It can be tough. I mean, it's a lot of work. Particularly for us in Northwest Indiana, just logistically to get back and forth. I mean, it's so much of everything happens down there that, people think, well, we're called the part-time legislature, but there's so much that happens throughout the entire year
I bet.
that if you're not down there, it is very, very hard to be part of it. So, between summer study committees, between different meetings that are just taking place, a lot of that stuff happens in the off season. During session, it is just it's the gauntlet. You're just every day's a ton of new bills that you better make sure that you're paying full attention to. But during that off session is really when you can really curate some of the best ideas and turn them into some of those bills and get some of that support from the other side.
Well, I got to tell you, we are so proud of being able to say you helped represent Northwest Indiana. It's awesome to have you on, and thank you for finally getting up here. It's our fault for not getting you here sooner. But
honestly, I want you to come back.
You got to come back
anytime, man. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. We whenever you guys want, I'll be here for sure.
You rocked. You did a great job.
Yeah,
it was a good show. We had a big audience, right, John?
Yeah, and they're still here.
Yeah,
that's they're hanging around. That's good.
Left. Yeah.
Senator, you got a big posse following you around, man. That's awesome.
Tell your
we
girls,
appreciate it.
Mayor Bullpucky had a great show with
Mayor
you.
Bullpucky is very proud. So I'm so glad you're in Indiana Senate.
Hey,
you guys got a great group of senators down there, and it's really refreshing to hear you talk about Senator Bray, and I think that's great for democracy. It's sort of what we were talking about in the second segment, me getting shit for working with Governor Braun on this, potential deal breakers. So.
Yeah, well, if you don't, guess what? You're on an island. You're not getting anything. Then.
I agree with you.
So it's you have to do it. And I mean I think that's part of it. I mean, you're starting to see the younger generation is checking out of politics because they're tired of everybody fighting.
Yep.
Do something positive or get the hell out of the way.
I love it. Thanks, Senator.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Kevin, another great show. Appreciate you being here. Jill, thank you for coming in, and thank you for doing a great job with us also. Jay Vez, hope you're feeling better on Tuesday. Don't shake Jay Vez's hand.
No, not today.
Yeah,
not
fist
today.
Fist bump on that one. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Gotcha.
Senator Rodney Pol, one of the greats. We appreciate you coming to Lock Pod for
Thanks,
your first of many appearances, and we love you. We appreciate you. On Tuesday we have a guest. I should probably check ahead.
I'm not sure what we're doing Tuesday. We'll find out.
We'll be back on Tuesday. We miss you. We love you. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, talk about us, and we will see you back next week. Season 17, episode 7 is done. Take care, everybody. Lock Pod's out.